How's it going, PD team? This video is part of a larger tutorial series covering project management. It's such a critical part of being a designer, whether you like it or not. Also, not nearly discussed as much as it deserves in the community. It separates the pros from the noobs. It can be the make or break in a project deadline. Having a consistent folder structure is critical to meet project timelines, not losing your assets, or broken scenes. And important for archiving too, especially if you need to revisit the project the following season. Remove the unnecessary stress by implementing a solid pipeline, and that's what I hope to achieve in this important series. This video is for all motion designers, animators, 3D artists, art directors, designers, so we can all improve on project management. I hope by making these statements you understand the importance, heed the information, so you don't shaft yourself in your next big project. In this video, I will discuss project folder templates. I know it's not the most exciting content, but implementing these tools will give you a substantial relief down the road. I provided a link in the description as a foundation for your starter template. The one I provided is comprehensive for larger projects and can be overkill for smaller assignments. I suggest you make a stripped down version for smaller noodles. Essentially, I threw the kitchen sink at it. Why is it important to use a project template? Well, number one, by using a template, it assures every project is the same. That way you can go and open up the project a year down the road and you'll know where everything is. Number two, the software creates relative links, which is important, so that when you move your project around, the shots aren't broken. Number three, project templates make archiving large projects super easy because the resources are all encapsulated. You just move the project to a drive and you're done. There's no stray content. Lastly, number four, clients will absolutely love you, as well as editors, motion designers, and animators will definitely appreciate it. So with that being said, let's take a look at the folder, the encapsulated templates, and how the structure operates. Make sure you check the video description for associated project files. Also, the community tab has plenty of free resources like Substance materials, Espresso rigs, and After Effects presets. I'll be building up plenty of content for the community to enjoy. I'll be doing a free mega bundle giveaway for the first 500 Rockstar subscribers to my channel. So make sure you smash the subscribe button to stay up to date and like the video to show your support. It's greatly appreciated. Let's dive in. Okay, so here's the project template. It's all nice and clean and tidy. And how this works is this folder called project template sits on your desktop, and every time you need to start a new project, you take that folder and you duplicate it. And basically you're duplicating all these subfolders, and then you rename that project template Nike, Reebok, Lululemon, whatever the brand is, and then go from there and then move your assets into the respective folders. So you'll notice these ones here are software specific, and they start with an underscore. That's so they float up to the top. So we've got After Effects, Illustrator, Cinema 4D, my video editing choice, PSDs, Photoshop, app audio, docs, footage, images, and output renders. The docs is client provided resources like scripts, brand guidelines, things like that, fonts, right? And what happens is Cinema 4D, when you're working in this file here, it's going to render out and go up a level, go into the AE folder, and then go into this folder called 3D renders. And then your scenes will get rendered out here. That way, if you ever go to a studio and you need comp work or motion work, you don't need to take all these resources. You just drag the AE folder where it needs to go. It's a little risky, but that's the way I would do it. Now, in the After Effects folder, you'll notice there's pre-renders or proxy files. You'll notice that there's 3D renders, Illustrator, images, and PSD. The reason there's PSD and Illustrator in here is because I want these to move around with the AE folder. Also, these are prepped differently than my working files. So I might have a working PSD file for like making a composite. I'll then save a version of it into the AE folder into PSD, and then break down the layers, merge things, clean them up for After Effects. Same with logos, same process. And I'll usually name them like logo underscore for AE. So I'll put in the name like Nike logo / for AE. So I know that that file is prepped for After Effects. Then in the Illustrator folder, we've got illustrations, logos, and then a swatch template. So I will go to the company's brand guidelines, open this up, and copy and paste those RGB values or hexadecimal numbers. And then I can import this into Illustrator and do samples off of it. Also, it looks nice. Going into the Cinema 4D folder, we've got scenes. So if you have a big project where you have different shots, you can break it down into shot 1, shot 2, shot 3. Then we have elements that are included in scenes. So you might have a toaster, a garage, a person, all those things combined make a house. Okay. So all those elements are separate. I'll model them out as individual elements and then bring them into scenes. We have models. These can be downloaded assets like from TurboSquid or whatever. OBJs are converted OBJ files. And then this template, and this is a starter template template. It has all the layers, the render settings. It has nulls broken down into different elements, and we'll take a look at that in a second. Then the edit folder has nothing in it. PSD has templates. Inside of these, there's two files, a 4K version and a 1080p version. What I did is I took the After Effects guides and overlaid it and added some additional tools. So if I turn all these off, you can see we have these, kind of hard to see, but we have these title safe, action safe, SD center cut, which is standard definition. So if you're doing broadcast and they require it to be for standard television, which is crazy, still do it. You have those guidelines in there. Crosshairs, thirds, you have golden ratio, 2 levels. So you can see in here, there's 2 levels. So the first one and the second one, we've got, and triangles, which is based off of the thirds, the golden ratio thirds. Okay, so the last thing in is this data. So if I take and plug in a screenshot from some footage in here to comp and do some design work, you can copy and paste the time code into here so you know. And then you can also overlay the client name, the product shot, and so on, and all that data. And that's useful for sending comps so they know what you're talking about. Because while I'm doing motion work for commercials, they'll be doing the edit in real time, and I'll be pulling assets from that and designing over the top of it. So that's this template, and this is in 4K and in 1080. Then in the audio, we've got sound effects, soundtracks, and voiceover work. In the docs folder, we have brand guidelines, client given assets. Client assets is literally a folder I just dump everything that they send me to. And then if it fits within a brand guideline or a script, I'll move it out. But they'll send you just tons of garbage. You throw it in there. Next is the fonts folder. This is a must because when you move machines, you'll need those fonts. So I always get clients sending me fonts to use, specific fonts for like Verizon or Apple. They have specific fonts that they use and they need to be in the project folder. This is a useful document. It has the company information, when you started the project, when it launches. And then this part is super important, that you list out all the third-party plugins that do not come with the software. You plug it into here. And then of course the credits. Next is the footage folder. These two are kind of depend on the project. So you might have it broken up into different days of the shoot or different products. So these are just extra. But then we've got the graphics package, stock footage, and video effects. So this would be like Andrew Kramer's video co-pilot effects, smoke, atmosphere, explosions, things like that, dust you plug into here. And then the graphics package is all the assets for a commercial or some kind of like as seen on TV thing or news broadcast. I kind of threw in every element that you would be seeing in there. And then in the images folder, client provided photos of like models and things like that. Then the reference folder, which I just dump inspiration into, just as much content. And then the ones that work for a mood board, I throw them into here. And then your final output renders from your video editor or After Effects get plugged into here. And I organize them by date. So I'll see like version 1, version 2, version 3, and so on in this folder. And I keep all my renders so I can see the progress as I go. So take this, download it, delete extra folders after you make a copy of it, and do a couple versions where you have like a small, medium, and large version. If you do print work, you should do another version of that as well. That's it. I hope you found it useful. Thanks so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more content. Thanks for your support.